Okay, so I've recently been getting some questions on how I make my sourdough. So I'm going to show you it from, I'm not going to show you how I make the starter or how I prepare the starter. This is when you already have a matured starter. And I'm doing 2 loaves today. I do 2 loaves every week. So I measure out 2 cups of water in each bowl. That one already has 2 cups. Then once my starter reaches the top of my weck jar, I go in and I scoop out about half a cup of starter into each bowl. And it helps if you wet your like tools. So I always keep a little thing of water and I just kind of like wet my measuring spoon because starter is very sticky. Oh, so I like to tamp it down too. I kind of do this and it kind of like deflates it a little bit and then I go in and scoop. Doesn't have to be perfect. I kind of just eyeball around what would be half a cup. I'm also not one of those people who like measures and weighs my ingredients. I've been making sourdough for a little bit now and I haven't had any trouble and I have beautiful fluffy loaves come out. So each bowl has half a cup of starter put into it and now I'm going to use a fork and I'm going to basically whisk it until it becomes foamy. Okay, it's nice and foamy. And those bubbles will disappear really quickly. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other one so I can measure everything out at the same time. Okay, nice and foamy. Okay, so this is the bread flour that I use. I use King Arthur organic bread flour. And again, I don't weigh my ingredients. A lot of people do, but this is what works for me. So I go in and I scoop out 4 cups of flour into each bowl. This does call for a lot of flour when you make sourdough, so you really have to buy it a lot. Okay, so that's 4 cups in each bowl, and then I like to do 2 teaspoons of Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan sea salt into each bowl. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so then I start out with my fork and I just kind of mix it a little bit. You want to really get it to combine, but you'll see that the dough is going to start to stiffen up soon. And it's going to become harder to mix with the fork. But I mix it as much as I can, scraping down the sides as I go. See, it's really starting to form up. Now it still needs more mixing, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of get this one to the same point. Now you can use a dough whisk for this, but again, I just find it pointless. I don't need the dough whisk, but I like to use a very narrow spatula now. And I like to really give it a good mix. Scrape down the sides. Very sticky at this point. Okay, so I'm just scraping down the sides of my bowl here. Scrape off my spatula. Okay, and then this is when that cup of water helps. You want to dip your hands in there and you basically just want to fold it over in almost like a box pattern 4 times. This is going to help strengthen the dough and help the gluten molecules start forming. You do that in each one. Okay. Okay, so then I cover these with these little caps. And I'm gonna start my accordion stretch and folds in probably about 30 minutes, and I'm gonna do that 2 more times before I put them in the refrigerator for the night. And then tomorrow morning I will wake up, I'll prepare my floured banneton baskets. I'll flour them, transfer the dough, let them sit for an hour. Then you bake your sourdough at a high heat, 500 degrees, in a Dutch oven with a lid on for the first 30 minutes. And then you take the lid off for the last 15 minutes, so it cooks for a total of 45 minutes. Take the lid off for the last 15 minutes so the top of the bread kind of forms like a nice crust, and you're done. But yeah, I hope this helps somebody if you're kind of in the beginning stages and you're looking for more of an easy way to measure things out. You don't want to use scales, you just want to keep things simple. This works great. Hope this helps someone.